Oh, sweet Jesus, it's another podcast with your boy Angelo. I think this is podcast number 46. Damn. Let's get right to it. Let's with some dating updates. Or, not so much dating, but single Angelo updates. I don't know. I'm single and here's some motherfucking updates. Side note, I have a little bit of a headache right now. I didn't think I smoked too much, but I finished about half a joint that I started last night, thinking, this ain't gonna kick my ass too much, but good God, it got me really quick, and now I kind of got a teeny weeny in a tiny polka dot bikini headache, but I think I should be able to get through a little bit of this here. But anyway, dating update. I've been out about 4 times with this lady. We met on a dating app. I forget which one. She was only on the dating app for 1 week until she said, I can't take it anymore, and got off of it because of so many creeps and assholes and perverts out there. And she said I was one of the only ones that was actually nice to her, and I was able to get her phone number. We started chit-chatting outside of the app, and then about a couple of weeks into it, we decided to meet up. Apparently, I scared her a little bit because I didn't want to do a video chat. Because, on a personal note, I believe I am wasted on video chats when it comes to dates or getting to know someone off a dating app. I'm just not that good. I don't feel like my phone is adequate enough. I don't feel like the Wi-Fi is good here. I feel like I don't know what to do with my hand. I feel like I hold it at my phone at an angle. Sometimes I'm too far, too close. I feel pixelated. You talk over one another. There's just too many bullshit variables that are out of your control. And I like to control a little bit of the situation when you're going in to meet someone for the first time. However, in hindsight, I probably should have did a video chat with her because she said, as a woman, you have no idea if you're getting catfished or not. And I said, it's not just as a woman. I've been catfished 2 or 3 times, so you aren't special. By the way, I've been legitimately catfished once. 2 other ones, they lied about a few things. But to me, a catfish is if you lie about multiple things. Your age, your look, your weight, your job. Basically, if you put a profile and make up everything, that's a catfish, or the majority of the profile, and that was one person I did meet. So yeah, she was very nervous and skeptical that I was real. She is a little younger than me. She is 26. She is Kenyan, born and raised in Kenya, and moved over here after she finished college over there. And yeah, we hit it off. We met at 13 Coins, and we spent a couple hours getting to know each other. Chit-chat a little bit on the phone, decided to meet up again in Tukwila for the second meetup, and it's been going good ever since. And so yeah, things are looking good there. We're still in the get to know you phase, not setting any expectations. I'm having a good time, she's having a good time. It is a breath of fresh air that someone you meet online is actually pretty much genuine. She still comments about how surprised she is how honest I was and how I wasn't bullshitting about anything. Because, she said that she got hit up with a lot of guys who said a lot of bullshit things to her. Like, she said one time she went on a date with a guy who said on the dating app that he was like 30. Turns out he was in his 50s. And guys lie about their jobs. They lie about where they live. One guy lived with a bunch of roommates, or was it roommates or parents? I'm not sure. It may have been that bullshit story about a guy saying that he has roommates, but those roommates are in fact his parents. But yeah, it's there's a lot of wild cards out there when it comes to dating, and men and women deal with many of the same things, but obviously a lot of different things unique to their sexes. If you believe in genders. I personally believe in 4 genders. You got your male, you got your female. In my opinion, you have a transitioning one if you're a transgender. And then the 4th one, I guess you could be just straight up trans, I suppose. Because if the 3rd one is you're actually in transition, like if you're going from a male to a female, you may still have your wiener. And if you're doing the other way around, you may still have your vajayjay. but you're still in process. Whatever. Some people want to stay like that. Who gives a fuck? I really don't give a fuck about gender. I'm just thinking, if I was a doctor or a medical professional and I had to know who the fuck I'm talking to, I would say, biologically, you got 2, maybe a level up from biological, you have the 4 that I talked about. And then when you get to the emotional people or the emotional level where, you know what, I personally don't give a fuck if you consider yourself a 20th century nobleman and you're in the body of a 250-pound woman from Wisconsin. I don't really care. There's people that think their gender is somewhere in the cosmic realm. I honestly could give a fuck what you think you are or what you feel like you are. As long as you're not a cunt about it, I'll support you all the way. I don't care about what's between your legs. I care what's between your ears. If you're a son of a bitch character, then you're a son of a bitch. But anyway, back to the dating. Before I went out with this Kenyan girl, I got told off, and I mean told off, by a girl. I believe she was either Chinese or Hong Kong or Singapore. Is she from Singapore? I don't remember. I get a lot of Asian girls hitting me up, and I've mentioned this in previous podcasts. Not all, but I would say the majority inevitably ask me about my financial status. And I understand in some Asian communities, predominantly the Chinese, I don't think so much the Japanese, but maybe at a different level, or the Korean. Especially the Chinese and Hong Kong, Singapore, I don't know why. Malaysia was one that I got asked that. Thailand and Philippines, not so much. But specifically the Chinese and the Hong Kong ladies, they want to know how much money I have. And I don't, I'm not going to tell a fucking stranger that bullshit. It's none of their business, especially if you're getting to know someone on the phone. Lafonda, chill. Lafonda, stop saying anti-Asian comments. You're racist. But anyway, I was talking to this one girl, and she said that she was in Seattle. I wrote back saying, back before the pandemic, I would work in Seattle. Where in Seattle do you work? Just making chit chat. And I don't remember where she said, Queen Anne, let's just say. And she said, but I don't feel comfortable giving you an exact address, which I wasn't asking for. So I realized there was a little bit of a miscommunication there. And I wrote back, that's not what I was asking for. That's not what I meant. LOL. I understand some information is whatever. I wish I kept the text messages. I really do. I would read them off to you. But all I told her is there was miscommunication. I wasn't asking about the street address. But I can understand not wanting to tell me such things because women have it very different than men do in the single world. There are a lot of creeps out there. Don't know if I should have said that right away, because this is right when we started talking. But, I'm trying to alleviate some perceived tension by making a joke about, I understand that you don't want to give exact information to a complete stranger online that you met on a dating app. That's not what I was doing. But I understand that hesitation because women get a lot of, fucking creepy, horny assholes on here. And you would have thought that I said something to the point of, I want to know where you work so that I can sniff your chair after you get done sitting in it. She said, fuck you, you're such an asshole, who the fuck do you think you are? And the who the fuck do you think you are, she sent like 6 times. I don't know if there was a glitch on the phone or what. But I didn't see all of this, I did my little comment, and then I put my phone down because I was cooking breakfast. So I didn't look at my phone for a good 20, 25 minutes until I looked over and I saw that I had a message from her, and it was like 6 or 7 messages. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I open up the app, and I see that she's just telling me off, and it kept going. There's continuously. And I wrote back, whoa, what is going on here? Are you talking to me? My initial reaction was, is she talking to somebody else and accidentally clicked on, our chat? Because what the fuck, right? And I said, are you talking to me? And she said, she said something, you're such an asshole. Of course I'm talking to you. And I immediately went like, what is happening? And I wrote, there's obviously a miscommunication here. What are you talking about? And I said, I don't know why you're talking to me like this. And she just kept like doing insults about what an asshole I was. And I'm like, okay. And I wrote back, I was like, I don't know what's going on here. There is definitely a miscommunication, but you can't talk to me like that, so I'm done here. So I deleted it, she wrote back a few more times, I ended up having to block her. But yeah, fucking wild out there. That was the first Asian girl to really tell me off. And I'll be honest, I haven't been told off by many women on these dating apps. I'm trying to remember. She may have been the first one since... And I don't count women I was already in a relationship with that tell me off. That happens all of the time. And Lafonda's telling me off as we speak. Anyway, but yeah, it's been a good long while until a complete stranger on a dating app told me to fuck off and called me a bunch of names. And I'll be honest, it coming from the profile of a sweet looking little Chinese girl was kind of odd. And I thought, this is not the Asian discrimination that I've been hearing about in the news. I'm the one being discriminated against. But yeah, I don't know why they want to know about how much money I make, or if I know about Bitcoin and how much do I have invested, who do I have investments with, how much gold do I have, do I invest in gold, do I want to open up a link they're going to send me for some kind of cryptocurrency app, all this fucking bullshit. And I always tell them, hey, I'm just getting to know you. I'm not telling you this. I don't feel comfortable. And then they talk to me like I'm a fucking pussy. Oh, we're just talking. We're just having a discussion. And they send me emojis like, calm yourself. And I'm like, bitch, what is this? Now, if I'm in person and I get a good vibe from a lady, and maybe we're on the second or third date, you can start talking about more personal information. Not on the text chain, baby. At least not with your boy Angelo. If you want to get in my pants, it's not asking me about my money. Lafonda, you gotta chill. Lafonda, you have to chill. Good God. So, yeah, some good news on the dating front. I'm having a good time with this lady. But let's continue, because I got a lot of things I want to talk about. Firstly, Godzilla vs. Kong. If I had a time machine, and I could go back in time to say, 1992, 93, somewhere around there, the start of the mid-90s, if you will, I would have been, let's see, I was born in 86, so about 7, 8, 9, around that age. And if I could go back to that time and tell my younger self, boy, have I got a movie franchise for you. Grab that red bucket full of toys, because that's what I did. I had this big ass red bucket. I had all my action figures in there. Oh my Godzilla, Pokemon, wrestling, Marvel, DC, you name it. Ninja Turtles, Street Sharks. Bitch, I had it all. So grab that shit, come with me. And I'd grab my younger self and I'd take him back to the present time, sit his ass down, give him some orange soda and some kettle corn and say, we're going to watch the new Godzilla movies. And just that alone, that young ADD would kick in and I would be running through the walls into my fucking house. But no, these last few Godzilla, or just a Monsterverse, I guess is what they're calling it. But Godzilla from a couple of years ago, and then Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters 2 years ago, and then this new one, Godzilla vs. Kong. I'll say the obvious. The movies are pure trash. They really are. Skull Island was actually probably the best all-around movie, but that's not saying much. And, these movies have some of the worst dialogue, some of the worst acting. And by the way, they have some of the worst acting by top acting talent. Somehow these movies get like A+ actors, some of them Oscar winners or at least nominated. But oh my God, and the plots and the character decisions and the character arcs, anything to do with human beings in the movie, trash. However, good God Almighty, do I love me some Godzilla monster action scenes. And this newest one, Godzilla vs. Kong, if I saw this movie when I was 7, 8, or 9, I think that's when I would have hit puberty. My balls would have dropped to the floor, my chest would shoot out hair, and my voice would drop to a level only known to Barry White. Because goddamn, this Godzilla vs. Kong movie had everything everything that I loved in it from those movies when I was a child, because I've said it once, I'll say it again. Godzilla raised me just as much as my parents did. You know? Godzilla, The Three Stooges, Rodney Dangerfield, pro wrestling, and Saturday morning cartoons did as much childhood rearing as Ma and Dad did. I mean, I don't think you guys understand how much I loved Godzilla, and I still do. I have tried to watch every single Godzilla movie and what other movies that come from that studio in Japan, Toho. And I think if you see a list of them, I had to have seen at least 75% of them, I would imagine. There is a handful of Godzilla films I haven't seen, but, last I checked, there's something like 30 or 40 of them. And the ones I haven't seen were like the third tier from the late 90s, because a lot of those movies didn't get released in America until, 10 years later or whatnot. But anyway, I digress. The movie is dank. Now, if you're expecting a Platoon, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan type movie, you're a fucking mook. Don't watch it expecting that. If you're watching this movie wanting to get entertainment, and you have a good sized TV, a good surround sound system, or you're in an area where you can go see a movie in an actual theater, I would highly recommend it. I've watched the movie basically twice. The second time I skipped through a lot of shit. I just wanted to watch the action and the beautiful CGI. I mean, the CGI in some of these scenes, I literally thought I was looking at a real ape. Godzilla, sometimes the CGI didn't do him any favors, but I gotta give this movie credit where credit is due in one specific area, which is a lot of action scenes happen during the day. And you may be thinking, who the fuck cares? Well, let me tell you why this matters. In the last Godzilla MonsterVerse movies, and I would say most in the DC and to a lesser extent Marvel movies, a lot of action happens in the night or underwater or just in the shadows because it's cheaper. You can save money on effects and CGI because you can hide blemishes and whatnot when it's a giant action scene at midnight. You know what I'm saying? But this movie was the first Godzilla movie in this new American Godzilla franchise that the mass majority of the fights happened in the daytime, so you could see everything much clearer. And even the penultimate fight in Hong Kong, which, by the way, they demolished Hong Kong in this movie. No wonder this movie's so big in China. Hey, fuck you, government of China! But when they got to Hong Kong, everything was like neon lights, and I thought, okay, motherfucker, this ain't Blade Runner, chill. But then I remember this is the same studio that made the Pacific Rim movies. I have not seen the sequel because it looked so fucking painful, just a trailer. But I enjoyed Pacific Rim, and I think that's what, spoiler alert, I think that's what they're building to, is they're going to have a Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover, because it's the same studio. Which, Godzilla's probably way up above here, and Pacific Rim is right down meow. But I still enjoy them, but there's not a lot that... Oh, I don't think I finished my point with the neon lights. My point being is, in Pacific Rim, there was a lot of neon lights in the city. And so they kind of brought that into this new Godzilla Kong movie. I didn't like it when they were dealing with the humans, because, by the way, there was so many human characters that you didn't even need. Now, I'm a fan of Millie Bobby Brown of, Stranger Things, and Julian Dennison, the kid from Deadpool 2, and that New Zealand movie by Taika Waititi with Sam Neill, Where the Wild People Are, or something, I don't know. That was an excellent movie. Where the Wild Animals Are? Something weird. That was a dank movie, though. Use your imagination, because I'm butchering the name of the movie, but it's got Julian Dennison, Sam Neill, and it's directed by Taika Waititi. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah. His character and Brian Tyree Robinson, I think his name is, from Atlanta. They didn't need to be in the fucking movie. They were just kind of brought to, move the plot along, but you don't even need it. See, these movie studios think the American audiences are so fucking stupid, which, hey, maybe we are. Maybe we need someone to look at the camera and say, here's what's happening. when we don't really need it. But who knows? That's my only blemish. It's a pretty big blemish on these movies, is that they spend too much time making you kind of care about the people, whereas, look, man, the mass majority of people are watching Godzilla vs. Kong for one reason and one reason only. Big monkey versus big lizard, action go boom. Motherfucker, that's what we want to see. If you're gonna do humans in this movie, from their perspective, in quotes, put a fat fuck like me in the movie. I can do a damn good job of explaining a backstory of a movie like this. Put me on the camera, make me an IT guy, because that's what I look like. Make my desk all disheveled and make me have 6 monitors with sticky notes all over the place, and I got open cans of soda pop all over the place, and I got open bags of, I'm a fucking slob. Get that point across. Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park vibes. You know what I'm saying? You didn't say the magic word. Still one of the best villains in any 90s movie. I challenge you to think otherwise. If you do, you're a fucking mook. My point being, put me in the next Godzilla vs. Kong or Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla. I don't care. Just put me in the fucking movie and have me just go freaking out for like 5 minutes saying, oh man, are you ready for this fucking shit? And I would, it's going to have to be R-rated because I'm going to curse a lot. I'm going to use a lot of expletives. But I could just explain the history really quick in 5 to 10 minutes and then boom, make it an hour and a half of non-stop CGI giant monster fighting. And every so often you can cut away to my face and I'm just pulling my hair out. I'm doing cartwheels. I'm beating off in there. I mean, I'm losing my shit every time the camera goes to me because I love it. Or you know what? You can cut to like giant football or soccer stadiums and everyone is watching the monsters fight on these big televisions and you just come back to people celebrating. You don't need scenes of humans doing shit that doesn't matter to the plot just to move it along. Bitch, we understand what's happening. Monsters go boom and fight and explode and shit. That's what we want. And I was waiting for Godzilla and King Kong to kiss in this movie because they were fucking flirting the entire time, kept staring at each other, and yeah, it looked like they were snarling or sneering every now and then. But you know what? I was waiting for King Kong just to pucker up and have Godzilla just tongue him. I really thought that was coming, but maybe they're saving that for the sequel. By the way, in that stupid vein there, you know how there's a lot of pornographies that are made off of giant movies like this? So I wonder if they're going to make a Godzilla vs. Kong porno comedic movie. Be fucking weird, because you can make it a furry type movie. Man, I have so many good ideas for bullshit movies. Just bullshit in general. Anyway, I fucking love Godzilla vs. King Kong. I really love that movie. I love Godzilla. I love all that shit, you know. And if you guys ever really want to commit suicide, you should listen to a podcast I'm going to do when I just rank all of the Godzilla monsters. Oh, they can play that recording on in Guantanamo Bay to make prisoners talk. Oh, but we know that most people in Guantanamo Bay are probably innocent. But I digress. But I want to continue talking about some cool things that I've been watching. The two biggest was a historical documentary series called I Can't Get You Out of My Head. And the other one is a dark comedy, mystery, thriller, comedy, whatever. It's like a lot of genres put into one. It's called Search Party on HBO. So let's move on to those. Actually, you know, I think I'll start with Search Party here. Save the best for last, so to speak, because Search Party is a pretty good show. I was really in love with it for, I would say, the majority of the first 3 seasons. I've just started the 4th season, but I'm not liking how it's starting. I'll give it a chance because this is the last season that's released. I think they're doing one more season, but I don't know if it's the last. But the first 2 seasons were excellent. The 3rd season, in my opinion, was the best, but it kind of tapered off in the last episode because in the way it was teasing the 4th season, which I started, and I'll give it time. I'm only 1 episode in. I don't like the idea of where they're going, but I could be wrong. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Search Party is on HBO. I think originally it was on TNT or TBS or some shit. But let me read you what the show is about here. Search Party is a dark comedy about 4 self-absorbed 20-somethings who become entangled in a ominous mystery when a former college acquaintance suddenly disappears. It's got Aaliyah. Is that her name? Aaliyah Shawkat? Shawkat? I don't know. I've never have known how to say her name. She's what's her name from Arrested Development? Michael Cera's cousin. Lindsay and Tobias's daughter. What the hell is her? Maybe. I think that's what it is. I think that was the whole fucking joke. As much as I love Arrested Development, I hold it as probably my generation's Seinfeld. It's pretty shitty that I have forgotten a lot of things about that show. Damn you, marijuana and stress and age and adulting. But anyway, back to a Search Party. Each episode is only about 20-something minutes. This is a perfect show to binge watch if that's what you're into. And another really cool thing about it is the humor style. It is a very dark comedic show. Not dark in terms of like things that they joke about things you shouldn't joke about. But it does deal with death, and it does deal with lies and blackmail. And I don't want to give too much up, but, murder sometimes. But anyway, it's got the best soundtrack I've seen since Mr. Robot. I'm consistently checking out every episode online to get the music. The show is kind of, I don't know if it was created by, but it definitely involved Michael Showalter, who you may remember from Michael Ian Black. I don't know if Michael Ian Black and there's a third guy. I'm drawing a blank. It's this group. Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter, and David Wayne, I believe. They are the people behind the movies like Wet Hot American Summer. So if you like that kind of humor, I would check out Search Party. Or if you just trust your boy's recommendations, check it out anyway. One thing I feel like I do need to talk about on the show, though, is the four main characters are all despicable, and you will loathe and wish nothing but hardship for them. And that's what makes it so much fun, is they're all awful people. Shallow, self-absorbed, like the synopsis said, very selfish. It's a weird kind of comedy. Because to my knowledge, I have not seen main characters you dislike so much. But you do have a level of sympathy and sometimes empathy towards them. Now, I have not seen the popular comedies that are out right now, like Schitt's Creek and whatnot. I've tried. They're just too bland for me. I kept waiting for a laugh track to happen on those shows. So, if you like more of a Schitt's Creek, maybe you won't like Search Party. But if you have a little bit of brain and a little bit of cultural taste, I would give Search Party a shot. But let's move on to the big boy here, Can't Get You Out of My Head, a documentary miniseries. The entire 6-episode series is free to stream on Adam Curtis's YouTube. And I've heard of Adam Curtis on a couple different podcasts over the couple of years, and I swear I thought I saw one of his documentaries a couple of years ago, but I was looking at his bio, and none of them I remember. So I may have just heard of Adam Curtis on a couple podcasts, or maybe I haven't heard him on a podcast. I'm not sure, but I had a lot of respect for the guy, and I heard that his newest series was just out of this world. But I knew that it was only on BBC, and I don't have access to BBC, or at least I'm not aware of how I would get BBC. I don't get it on anything that I'm aware of. So anyway, I kind of said, eventually it will come to the States and I'll be able to watch it. Well, one of my buddies sent it to a group text of ours, a YouTube link to Adam Curtis's YouTube page, and sure enough, all 6 episodes were there. And I didn't really know much about it. Lafonda, I'm not talking to you. All right, Lafonda, come here. Yeah, you're just crashing this with your anti-Asian rhetoric. Anyway, so let me rewind and go back to the actual documentary series called Can't Get You Out of My Head. Here's the synopsis here. Love, power, money, ghosts of empire, conspiracies, artificial intelligence, and you. A emotional history of the modern world by Adam Curtis. I know that doesn't say a lot to some of you, and I bet most of you would watch the trailer and still not really understand what the hell it's all about. And I do feel like I need to kind of foreshadow a little bit. This documentary series is not like most documentaries that you guys have seen. Probably, I don't know what you guys watch. I feel that I intake a lot of documentary movies and series, and I feel like I have, I'm not saying that I'm, a, what do you call it, an expert, a aficionado, there's the word I was looking for, on documentaries. But I feel like I've seen enough to make a educated opinion. And this series is done in a way that I have not seen done before. It jumps back in time, and then it looks at not just American history, but it really looks at the big hitters, if you will, of any given decade. The first episode deals with the mid-60s, and specifically America, Britain, and China. And those three tend to be the major actors in this documentary series. However, they do spend more time on other nations later on, the big one being Russia, of course, and Germany a little bit as well. I can't even really explain to you in a coherent way what this is about in depth, if that makes any sense. Like, I can't really explain to you what it's about episode by episode, instead of it's just looking at history since the mid-60s until now. And it's portrayed in a way that really puts things into a lot of perspective. How did we get to where we are today in terms of our distrust of one another, this divisiveness, this willingness to believe in wild conspiracies because the truth is just too wild to understand, this obsession with making it, this emphasis on individuality and what it means to different people, and what it means, and what does individualism mean when certain people get power? What does it mean to kind of revolt against that power? This series is almost like a psychoanalytical look at history as well. I mean, I feel like this vomit of words isn't really doing it justice. And let me try looking at the first episode and kind of give you a better description on there, because I can just tell you what it did to me. I mean, in my humble opinion, this series should be taught in every public school, and every high school, and college. Obviously, it should be selective. I'm just ranting here, but let me pull up the first episode. We are living through strange days. Across Britain, Europe, and America, societies have become split and polarized. I kind of said that. There is anger at the inequality and the ever-growing corruption, and a widespread distrust of the elites. I was getting to that. Into this has come the pandemic that has brutally dramatized those divisions. But despite the chaos, there is a paralysis, a sense that no one knows how to escape from this. Can't get you out of my head tells how we got to this place. I feel like I did a semi-decent job of explaining that. And why both those in power and we find it so difficult to move on. At its heart is the strange story of what happened when people's inner feelings got mixed up with power in the age of individualism. I mentioned individualism. I don't know if I talked about power and everything, but I think maybe I did. How the hopes and dreams of uncertainties... Man, sometimes I cannot say words. How the hopes... God damn, that scared the fuck out of me. My food's here. This is a fucking train wreck already. How the hopes and dreams and uncertainties inside people's minds met the decaying forces of old power in Britain, America, Russia, and China. What resulted was a block not just in the society, but also inside our own heads, that stops us imagining anything else than this. I dare say this thing's a fucking masterpiece, okay? This should be taught everywhere. Electively, because I don't think the stupid kids will understand it, and I don't think the stupid kids, stupid parents would appreciate this either. This is not a re-envisioning of history. They tell it like it is, but with today's... I don't even want to date it saying through today's emotions. It's really not. Some of these things are timeless, but anyway, I feel like I'm ranting and raving. I honestly can tell you guys that Can't Get You Out of My Head arguably is the highest recommended thing I have ever talked about on this podcast. If you're going to watch anything that I have just spewed and ranted and soapboxed about for a year, if you take any of those recommendations and you say, just give me the best, I can tell you with 100% certainty that Can't Get You Out of My Head by Adam Curtis is the one to watch. And number 2 would be that Del Delgadio's In and of Itself. That motherfucker was dank, so dank that I want to watch it a third time, but I don't know if I will. I'm definitely going to rewatch this documentary series again at a later date, but it makes me tear up just thinking about it. It's a masterpiece is the best way I can say. I don't want to over dramatize it, but it resonated with me at a certain level that not many things have in my life. Each episode is about an hour. The last episode's pretty long, but I tell you, it doesn't feel long, and it really gives you a better world view of things. But anyway, I don't want to keep doing an awful job of describing this. Just watch it. But yeah, I think we're done talking about TV shows and movies and whatnot. So let's continue on here. Oh, wait. Oh, son of a bitch. I forgot to talk about one more show. So, I don't know about y'all, but I like the Marvel stuff because I'm a fucking nerd and I love it. But I gotta tell you, WandaVision was pretty damn good. This Winter Soldier and Falcon, meh. I'm not enjoying it that much. I'm actually getting quite bored. And I think we're, 3 episodes in? The 4th episode's coming out shortly, or what the hell? What day is it? Oh, it's coming out tonight? Today? Oh, it's Friday. It's out today. Well, I'll watch it for sure. But yeah, it's just not gripping me. Like, WandaVision got me right away from the very first episode. Falcon Winter Soldier, I really didn't like the first episode that much. And the second episode was better, but last week's episode, there was a few good parts, but right now it's about a C+. And I know you're thinking, who the fuck are you, Angelo? You're not a Falcon, nor are you a Winter Soldier. Well, that is true. But Winter Soldier happens to be one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. Because again, I'm a fucking nerd. But saying all of this and judging what I should not judge, I am most excited about the new Loki series. And I know I'm just complaining about the latest Marvel Disney series, but Loki looks amazing. I love the idea. Interconnected multiverse time zones, I guess, because he's jumping around realities. Because there's Lokis in infinite dimensions, and the Loki we're watching has to track down the other Lokis and do whatever he has to do to take care of them because Lokis are causing a time discombobulation or whatnot. It looks awesome. It looks like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets a low-budget Blade Runner meets just like all those really B-level sci-fi movies of like the 70s and 80s, like the original Westworld and Soylent Green in 1984 and Naked Lunch. And, what's the one where the clones, once they reach a certain age, they float up in the air and they get electrocuted? Logan's Run? That's what it looks like to me. And I love that shit. Oh, and of course, it's like, what's that famous 70s show? But every episode, the guy was in a different timeline and he kept jumping through time, trying to get back to his time. Quantum Leap? There you go. Man, Here's how stupid I am. I can remember all of that stuff, all of that useless information that I just spewed out. I remember all of that. That I will never forget. It is in my brain forever. But I have a hard time remembering a girl's name that I'm on a date with. I can't remember road names if I'm trying to give someone directions. I mean, it's ridiculous what I can and cannot remember. Ugh. Anyway. So yeah, Winter Soldier, Falcon, Loki. Hell yeah, I'm excited for that. And now I think we're safely done with the TV shows. But moving on to what I've been doing lately around the house, since the weather has been more or less nice. The last week and a half I've been working my ass off outside. And I tell you what I'm super excited for is that the frogs are back. And I don't know about y'all, but I find the sound of frogs croaking at night very soothing and relaxing. In fact, it really helps me sleep. Lafonda, will you pipe down? And I just love the sound of frogs, and they are very important to the ecosystem. Unfortunately, frogs and most amphibians are the fish of the land, meaning everything eats them. The minute a tadpole emerges from that goop, 99% of them are food. Just like fish. There are some animals that just do not stand a chance in this world. And unfortunately, fish, amphibians, and insects are all the bottom of the totem pole of the ecosystem. Because when you're at the bottom, it's hard to get to the top. But I gotta give them credit. Those three types of animals have been around really since as long as there's been life. But I'm pretty certain we've had amphibians and insects and fish around for billions of years. I'm going to say that with a lot of confidence that I shouldn't have. But it sounds right, doesn't it? It sounds like that's an accurate statement that a scientist would make, correct? So I'm going to keep winging it and assume I'm correct because I'm an American. And that's what we do. We wing it till it's true, baby. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, frogs. I love them. Last year was my first year at this house, on this property, mowing the lawn, and I learned very quickly that certain times of the year, I have to really pay attention because I see frogs jumping all over the motherfucking place. And I would be so distraught if I'm mowing the lawn and I see myself catch one of those frog fuckers. I'd be so upset. There's some animals that I know that I just said that frogs are like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to animals, meaning fuck them. There's trillions of them for a reason because they're basically just food for everything else. But I don't want to kill them. So I try my hardest to move them while I'm mowing the lawn. I will turn off the fucking thing, pick them up, and then shoo them somewhere. So the other day, I was doing it, and I saw a big green fucker. And this was the biggest frog I had seen. And my heart told me, oh, this is one of the many frogs you saved last year. Now look at it. It's a nice big boy. Or big gal. I don't know. Lafonda, I know. Calm down, okay? You're... calm it down here. You're crashing this podcast here. So I shoot it away, and I just got so happy. But you know what I haven't seen a return of? My most long-standing listeners, maybe you'll remember that last year I was so excited to be working outside in this new garden, this new lawn that I had, in this new house I just moved into, that I went out and I bought a bunch of praying mantises and ladybugs because I was discovering I had quite an aphid and mite problem, and there's a lot of slugs and everything, and I don't know, I didn't want to use insecticide or pesticide or anything like that. I'd rather just introduce, you know, the right animals to the area to kind of balance everything out. But I tell you, it's been a year. I haven't seen one goddamn ladybug or praying mantis. I wasted all of that money, and there must have been thousands of praying mantises and ladybugs that either got eaten or died or flew off someplace else. I haven't seen a motherfucker. But I hope that it's just too early and that I will eventually see some. Because I gotta tell you, I'm missing out on them. I like the frogs. I like the hummingbirds and the finches that I'm seeing, and the blue jays, and I'm seeing ducks and swans now. I'm like, fuck, where am I? In a fucking aviary? Aviary? Ooh, I got that right. It is an aviary. I think it's where all the birds are. I haven't seen any snakes or lizards yet. Kind of bumming me out. And I've seen the few asshole squirrels running around here, but squirrels, meh. But, speaking of animals, I had the craziest interaction with this bird the other day. Now, I'm in my kitchen, and I have my sliding door that goes out to the deck of the backyard. So I walk by the sliding door, and I notice something is sitting on the doormat outside. And I take a second look, and it's a little bird just sitting there. And I'm thinking, oh shit, it's dead. Because why would a bird be sitting on a doormat? That's crazy. So then I walked closer to it, and sure enough, it was alive. And I thought, oh no, it's probably injured or dying or something's wrong with it because birds just don't, sit there. So then I kind of tapped on the glass, maybe hoping I was wrong, maybe it was okay. And it was responding to my noise, but it wasn't like flying away and it wasn't moving. But its head was looking up at me. And I thought, oh shit, maybe it's panting, maybe it's hungry or thirsty. Then I thought, well, fuck, I have this big ass bird feeder like 20 feet away from where it's at. And it just rained. And so there's water everywhere, almost on every, piece of grass out there. So I'm not sure what this bird's problem is. And then fucking Lafonda walks up, and you would think a cat seeing a bird sitting just on the other side of the door that this cat would flip her shit. Nope, fucking Lafonda just looked at the bird looked at the cat, and Lafonda could care less. She looked at it and just walked away. I tell you, Lafonda, you're a fucking wild ass cat. I don't think any other cat would ever do that. You guys kill billions and billions of birds a year, but not you. You're a lover, not a fighter, huh? So anyway, I was concerned about this bird. Originally, I thought it was a hummingbird until I realized it didn't have that long-ass beak. It was some kind of finch. It was a beautiful finch, though. It had, like, yellow wings and yellow stripes and a yellow thing on a crest, I think it's called. I don't know. It was a yellow head. And then it had a cute little yellow beak. But I thought, this ain't right. Something's wrong here. But what the fuck am I going to do, right? I'm not a goddamn vet. But I thought I got to get it out of the open because you're just sitting there and, something could grab it. I don't know. Maybe I need to bring it to the bird feed or bring it to some water. Fuck if I know, right? So I went outside and I got a little shovel and I put the little shovel next to the bird and it didn't really do anything. I wasn't startled or anything. And I thought, oh, fuck, this bird's fucked up. Like, normal birds don't let people walk this close to it. But I thought, okay, let me put it near the bird feeder. Maybe it just needs some food. And so I kind of nudged it with the shovel, and the fucking thing hopped up on the shovel. It hopped on it. And it wasn't like limping or didn't favor one leg or anything like that. So I thought, oh, okay, well, its feet are fine. Maybe its wing is broken. And so as I'm I'm walking to the bird feeder, and I look, and the bird balances itself because I'm moving kind of fast. It balances itself with its wings, and it flaps its wings like it's no problem. It doesn't even look like it's in pain. If its wings are broken, you could tell if a wing is broken on a bird. And I thought, this fucking bird, maybe it's retarded. I don't know. So then it took a little bit to get it on one of the little feet of the bird feeder, but eventually it did, and it was hopping around like it was no big deal, and then it jumped back on the shovel. Like it didn't want to, part from me or some shit. And I thought, this motherfucker is in love or is a ghost or some shit or a spirit. I don't fucking know. So then I thought, well, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? And as I was pondering that, I kind of did an up and down motion with the shovel just because I was thinking. And just that little motion, the bird jumped up and just flew off into the tree. No problem. It flew no problem at all. So I don't know what it was. Maybe the birds flew into the window and it was dazed. I don't know. But I tell you, it didn't seem like it was injured. And it seemed like it liked hanging on the shovel and it jumped back on it. I don't know, man. I don't know. That was a pretty cool moment, though. I got to check out a bird. It was beautiful. Got me thinking stupid things. That's all you want in life, man. That's all you want in life. Is to have a weird, confusing interaction with another animal that just makes you think, what the fuck are we doing here? What's the point of all of this? And that's what was happening when I was face to face with that finch, I believe, or a sparrow. I don't know what it was. In fact, I may research that and get back to you. So, I don't know. I felt pretty cool. That bird made me feel like a real nice human, I'm sure a lot of people would have just said, fuck that bird. Or they would pick up the doormat and just flip the bird out into the forest. Say, fuck you, out into the wilderness. Not me, man. Not me. I tried taking care of that bird. Because I'm a good person. And you all should be like me. But I think I've gone too far with that last statement. So, I think on that happy note, we can probably come to a close here. Did I want to talk about anything else? Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to risk it and maybe take a couple days off in the next coming weeks. Maybe next week. And I'm going to attempt to go shopping at a mall, which I haven't done in a couple years. Well, about a year or about 2 years. Because I've lost some weight. Most of my clothes don't fit anymore. And the clothes that do fit, I'm kind of sick of. And I have other clothes that I just don't like anymore. I'm like, wonder what I was thinking wearing that style. And I tell you, I want to see what the in style looks are. I want to see what the kids are wearing. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if the new styles don't scare an old man like myself. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll try it out. I don't think I can wear skinny jeans, but I don't know if skinny jeans are popular anymore because I am that out of touch. That's the biggest fear of mine, is getting out of touch with what's happening around me. I know a lot of people in my life that have no worldview of current events in society. They are stuck in the past, back when things, quote unquote, made sense to them. And the last couple decades has been very confusing for us all. And if you're a millennial, I mean, how many world catastrophes do we have to live through in 20 years? I mean, good God. If you think about what kind of fucking bullshit has happened in this world since the year 2000, I mean, enough good. Why are you testing us? Anyways. So yeah, I think I tried making a grander point on the shopping about being out of touch, but I lost all my steam there because the joint is hitting me and Lafonda is annoying me, and I want to go watch the latest episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier and see if I'm wrong, and hopefully it gets better. Baron Zemo is a good dancer though, but the rest of the show, fuck it. Anyway, guys, I think we can wrap it up here. I didn't get the chance to talk about sports. Maybe we'll do another podcast. As we speak, the Mariners are 3-4. Meh. Go M's, I suppose, but I'm not really looking forward to what the season's going to look for because I don't think we're going to be that good. It's going to be a little maddening, but we're a Mariners fan, so we expect that. So, on that happy note, I love y'all. Think it's sleazy. And don't do anything I wouldn't do.